Hello everyone, today I'm going to introduce you to my very new blanket. It's called the Triangle Trails Blanket, and I also want to show you the workbook that comes with it. Before you start making your Triangle Trails blanket, send me an email. I'll pop my email address in here so that you can receive the booklet. The booklet is a source of information, and you really need to have this to work alongside my video tutorials so you have the full experience. And it just has... Here she is in all her glory. I love this border. I love how it goes from dark to light. It just looks so nice. Mind you, you've got two other border options to choose from as well. Throughout this pattern, I've tried to make it so that you can individualize this blanket, so you can make some changes and really make it your own. That's what I love about doing this on YouTube, is that I can come up with a base idea and you guys can just run with it. I think that's just a wonderful thing. Why did I make this blanket, you might ask? Well, it just came to me. It was just sitting there in my mind. And one more thing, this orange yarn, it's been looking at me for years. So I thought it's time to use you. Then I just added other colours which I thought matched. And ironically, they've turned out to be quite Halloween inspired. Even though it's not a Halloween blanket, I think it would be a great one. You can just add purple and green to it and it would be perfect. If we go through this little workbook, you'll see I explain to you the reasons why I made the blanket and why it has the name that it has. I have a full page of information explaining how you can make this blanket your own. Up here you'll see information about tutorials that I already have on my YouTube channel that might be very helpful for you. Just for example, making the magic ring, or the double magic ring is what I use. So have a little look at those. I have a prompt here about my handy tip box, and you'll see that scattered throughout the tutorials. They bring your attention to what I'm saying because I pop them in areas where you really need to know the information to make life easy for yourself. Okay, I giggled when I started doing that. The handy tip box, I think that should be a thing. Then I go through making the blanket from start to finish. We start off with working out what size blanket we would like to make. I do show you on here how you can widen the blanket. It's really quite easy. You can do it in either a half large triangle extra or a full large triangle extra. I wouldn't think many would need to go further, but if you do, it's easy enough to work out because the small triangles are half the size of the large ones. So you just need to add them along and you'll see how to come up with a wider blanket. And increasing the length is super easy because all you do is add another one of the small, another one of the large. That's if you're keeping with this pattern. Now, I would love to see people making this blanket their own by even altering these rows. You know, you could put 2 rows of the small ones in between the larges. You could do all sorts of things. Let your mind go free and make it just how you would like it to be. You can easily adjust the size of this blanket. Especially easy is the length. You can also change the width of this blanket very, very easily. Of course, you've got to make more triangles, but let me show you how simple widening this blanket really is. we're going to remove our little side piece, and we're going to firstly increase by 1 triangle. So we add an extra one in there, and then we put our end piece there. So in theory here you have extended the width of this blanket by of the triangle. Now what else you can do is take that end one away, and we'll add another one in. Pop the end one up here to finish off that row, and there you have increased the width of the blanket by a whole triangle, which for me is approximately 34 centimeters. So you would do the exact same thing all the way along. The same with the small ones. You would move him and bring other ones in, and just keep going until it equals up to this. Then I talk about the materials you'll need and the yarn colours that I use. I've got an approximate list here of how many grams I've used in total for this particular blanket. Let me just show you the colours that I've used. It's a mixture between Stylecraft Special DK and Paintbox DK. It all began with this orange colour called Spice. Then I've added tomato, copper and white. Now the Paintbox colours have a number, not a name, but this one is called Taupe and it's number 75. Well, colour 75. This is a grey and it's colour 105. And this one is called Slate, but I've been calling it charcoal, and it is number 106. So you can use those similar colours if you like. Then we're on to stitch terminology. After that, it's all about how many triangles you make of each. And again, that depends on the size of your blanket. But if you're making mine, it's all written down here for you. Lay out your triangles. I've made a template. Now it's a dreadful template, but it's the best I could do. I'm really quite embarrassed. I couldn't figure out how to do a triangle template on a computer, so I drew it up by hand. And when I loaded it into my document, it came out blue. So to remove the blue, it then removed some of the black. So print your template off, and then you can go over it again yourself if you'd like to. Now I made this, and it's not perfect by any means, but it will give you some idea if you want to colour in with the colours that you'd like to use. You'll be able to work out the placement. You can come back to the first page where I've given you a photo of the blanket I made, and you can use those exact colours too if you would like.
Your next step is to crochet up all of the triangles.
You will need to do triangle A, B, C and D. If you are using the same size blanket that I am, you will need to make 20 of these big triangles, 8 of triangle B, 33 of these little ones, and 6 of the little end ones.
Next up is joining our triangles together. Now you need to join your triangles. I have shown you 5 different methods in the joining triangle video.
Now, once we've joined the triangles and you've got rows, or I'd been calling them segments for some reason, we then do a plain row across the top. Well, you can make it colourful and not plain if you like, but we do 2 double crochets into each space. The next thing that we do is crochet along the top of these triangle rows. Now, I've chosen to do 4 rows. You can choose less or more. That is completely up to you. What I have done here is 2 double crochet clusters. I tried using 3 and there was just way too many stitches, so don't try going into the normal granny cluster for this one. So there's just 2 double crochets into each space all the way along. Time to join all these segments together. After we join all our triangles together, so large with large, small with small, we then do a section of plain double crochets on top of the triangle segments. Then they become panels in themselves. So we have to join this panel to this panel, and it's done with a back loop only stitch. So I have shown you in tutorial number 70 on my YouTube video section how to work into the back loop and the third loop stitch. Then once it's all joined up, it's time for our border. Firstly is just a plain one that mimics the plain pathways in between the triangle segments. This is what 4 rows of these double crochets look like. I myself prefer the 3 rows, but again, it's completely up to you. So that's option number 1. The second one is actually a triangle border. Option number 2 is a super fun and easy triangle pattern that I think would look absolutely great as your border. And the third is the one that I did, and that's half double crochets in the back loop and third, and then single crochets in the back loop and third. And it comes out looking really effective when you do it in an ombre manner. Option 3 is back loop only, single and half double crochets. The triangles are the parts of the blanket which, with their angles, are showing us, like in life, which direction to follow. And then the plain segments in between the triangles are the pathways that we travel along until we find another direction to go. So there's a little analogy there to life, and I like that. I really like it when our crochet pieces mean something, when they have stories behind their meaning. The triangles really are fun to make. They don't take long and oh so versatile too, in size and colour. I really hope you'll enjoy making it. Send me an email straight up so I can send you out the booklet, and I will pop the video tutorials up over the next few days, and you can get started when you're ready. And also, I would love it if you would put some photos in our community feed so we can see just what you're doing with the Triangle Trails Blanket. All right, everyone, I'll love you and I'll leave you, and I'll go and try and get this video out as soon as possible so we can get the Triangle Trails Blanket out into the world. Bye for now.